You will birth a god and build an eternal paradise.
Today I'm gonna talk about a game that have changed my perspective about video games. For someone who plays a lot of video games, I've never experienced a game that made me feel the way I felt about playing Silent Hill 3 for the first time. I think one of the reasons that made Silent Hill 3 special to me is Heather Mason, a 17-year-old girl who lives with her father Harry Mason, the protagonist of Silent Hill 1. Heather's personality could be described as sarcastic, bold. Unlike the other protagonists of Silent Hill 1 and 2, both are men in their late 20s and early 30s. The Silent Hill franchise didn't offer any other female protagonists until the latest games, Silent Hill F, which have gotten a lot of hate, and a few of the claims saying the game was too woke or it wasn't an actual Silent Hill game because the game wasn't set in Silent Hill. But also, the first half of Silent Hill 3 did not take place in Silent Hill, and also Silent Hill 4 did not take place in Silent Hill. And for the argument that Silent Hill F was too woke, I personally think that if you say that, you probably didn't play a lot of Silent Hill games, especially Silent Hill 3, since the game talks about abortion and unwanted pregnancy for teenage girls. Not only that, but the game also talks about how it feels to be provoked in public by men. As someone who grew up in a bit of a religious, closed-minded society, Heather and Claudia's interactions felt a bit relatable because Heather had a normal view of the world, while Claudia was a cult leader who only wanted to use Heather for her religious advantages. Heather shows unliking to the mirrors at the beginning of the game. I used to think Heather simply didn't like looking at herself, but it turns out to be a bit deeper than that. There are a few reasons why Heather doesn't like mirrors. One of them is her subconscious memories of being Alyssa, the side of her that wants to die. Heather also says, "I don't like mirrors. It's almost like there's an unknown world right on the other side, and the person staring at me isn't really me, just an imitator." In the hospital bathroom, if you kept staring at the mirror for a while, blood starts showing on Heather, and she dies. There's a lot of details and Easter eggs in this game. I can't go over them in one video. That was just one example of how detailed this game is, and new things you can still find till this day for a game that came out in 2003. One of the characters that remind me a bit of Heather is Alice from Alice Madness Returns. Although they are both different, but they both share a lot of similarities. Both of them are teenage girls haunted by their past. Both of them have this surreal world, while Heather have the other world, Alice have Wonderland. Also, they are both being manipulated by men, that I didn't realize how much they look alike. I'd say Alice is a bit more serious and stubborn than Heather.
Blasted cat. Don't try to bully me. I'm very much on edge.
But that doesn't change the fact that Heather is a bit hot-headed herself.
I'm fine, so just get out of here and leave me alone already!
Although I don't think that Heather was always hot-headed like this, it only happened after her father died. Which is the same thing that happened with Alice after her family died. At the end, they're both girls who suffer from guilt and chased after their past to find out the truth about who they were and what happened to them. Heather dealt with her trauma by being sarcastic and refusing to be a victim. Even after the final boss, after going through all her trauma, she jokes with Douglas as if nothing even happened. Heather's coping mechanism is a way that a lot of teenagers deal with trauma. Not taking things seriously and being rebellious, but Heather wasn't a normal teenager anymore. She was Alyssa, Cheryl, and Heather. At the end, we see her understanding who she was, but we never really know if she have accepted herself or not. We don't really see her relationship with her father. At the beginning, Heather calls her father and tells him that she didn't get the thing he asked her to get. But from their conversation, we can understand that they have a good relationship. At the church, we can find Harry's Mason diary, which reveals that Harry had his own reservations on Heather for her being a reincarnation of Alyssa, but he still loved her despite. When Heather lost her father, she lost everything in her world. She didn't have a mother, she didn't have any siblings. She mostly kept to herself, which led to her not having a lot of friends, or any for that matter. The other world in this game is very different than the one in Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 3 Otherworld is more bloody, more unsettling, and I just think that Silent Hill 3 is more complex than Silent Hill 2, but I did enjoy both of them. As much as I love Silent Hill 3, and as much as I love replaying games that I like, it's probably the only game that I have a hard time replaying. I wasn't in a good place when I was playing the game for the first time, even though the game was more relatable back then. Not only that, but the story of the game and the atmosphere of the game definitely doesn't help you to replay it again. But I think it's one of the most unforgettable games that I've ever played. Thank you for watching this far. I enjoyed making this video and looking into facts that I didn't know earlier. This video isn't really scripted, but it's just something that I wanted to talk about. So thank you again for watching.
Dad.